Welcome everybody to Mud Flood Was Armageddon. The Mud Flood was the Armageddon. Don't let them tell you anything else unless they are willing to debate you in a fair and honest way. I have a hunch RJ will join us. If not, I'm going to just talk about this Jewish school for scoundrels because it does appear that it's cute. They think it's funny. I mean, I never heard of this. Let me share the screen here. First, I gotta show the standard of the fair use disclaimer. If I have any pictures, it'd only be of her right now. This is supposed to be a girl, a Jewish girl that's married. We'll run across her name in a minute. So this is a picture I want you to be aware of. There's an overused medical test being given to millions that may be causing tumors. A CAT scan, a CT scan, and they've known about it. Imaging centers to collect and share information about the radiation admitted by their scanners. The regulations also require a careful inspection of the dosing quality and necessity of CT scans. The new rules issued in the final weeks of Joe Biden administration are being rolled out over 3 years in hospitals and outpatient clinics, and providers could face fines if they don't comply. They're going to be forcing everybody to do more CAT scans. Uh, Fining people for not complying in 2027. The Trump administration has not commented on its plans to follow, revise, or reverse the new policies that are going to require an overused medical test that may be causing millions to get tumors. There's something to think about. We did some good talk last night, and it was good. Let's roll on with let's just introduce you to this girl here. Let me see what we got here. I want to show that part. I was listening to the Bible, the girl. So I searched that girl. Jewish school for mafias. Is it Frederica Weisner? Later married another Jewish person named Mandelbaum. Really? Not much is known about her early life other than she was Jewish. Was she really? I mean, how do you know? How do you know you're Jewish? When it used to take a piece of paper and a direct line back to Aaron, Moses's big brother. He was a very important person, and you have to be able to document a bloodline relation to him, or you're not Jewish. You can claim to be Jewish. They called her Marm. That's funny because her is MAN, but they must have used the Marm. She operated a criminal fence. A fence is also known as a mover or a moving man or woman, you misanthrope, blinded by your hatred for women. Can't a fence be a woman? Well, it was in New York underworld, and she ended up, they claim, handling between $1 and $5 million in 1862 money, stolen goods, like her principal rival. What? There was another traveling Mad Mike Grady in New York, and he was a leader of another fence, major burglaries in the 1800. Wow. She was a rival for the Grady gang. She also became the matriarch to the criminal elements in the city. Oh, you poor people that have to break the law, I want to be your mommy. And she was financing, organizing numerous burglaries and other criminal operations. They will mention it. I'm going to spoiler alert, blackmail. They trained, picked out people who are like, yeah, you ought to go blackmail that guy. Crazy. Involved in financing, organizing throughout the post Civil War era. Okay, that was a time of great racial upheaval, but I guess scavengers and garbage pickers that can turn it into being a underworld mob boss. So we know in 1848, she was convinced she was Jewish, so she married another itinerant peddler in Germany and decided everybody else is going to America. Let's go. So the family arrived. They began a series of small businesses taking in goods collected by scavengers and reselling them. Scavengers, you know, used to be something for the third world developing nations, but now I guess they're everywhere. The pair purchased dry goods stores, so they did enough business scavenging to buy a store on Clinton Street. But by 1854, the business was operating as a front for the criminal operations. She would later need to store goods in two large warehouses in New York City. Hey, what's going on in those two warehouses? Well, they're full of old Mom Mandelbaum's stolen goods. Leave them alone. She's going to make some money. Mandelbaum began financing thieves. So you're a thief that needs to make some money. In the golden age or the post golden age of Christ, well, there's a lot of Darwinism going on, a lot of questioning Christianity, but she didn't care. She was starting a school. She was involved in planning some of the biggest thefts in the city's history. She robbed the Ocean National Bank. I want to look it up. I want to look it up. I think the Ocean National Bank is a mud flutter. Look at the bank. Look at the vault. One picture. I'm going to leave it at that and say this was enough. What is this? A double door, one opening on the inside, one opening on the outside. That is, that's her bank. She, according to the police inspector, the Professional Criminals of America, Ma Mandelbaum's known associates included burglar Michael Kurtz, a Jew born in the United States, pickpocket Abraham Greenthal, Jew born in Portland. He's a pickpocket sneak shoplifter, Mary Holbrook. Sometimes those pickpockets are so pickpockety, tricky. She's born in Ireland. Pickpocket, blackmailer. Sophie Levy. It doesn't say Jew. Maybe she only married a Jew. Was she her daughter? Jim Brady and Billy Burke were among the most sought after career criminals. I've heard of Diamond Jim Brady. Let's see what else you got here. Some more quick names. Queen Liz, Big Mary. Oh my goodness, this is like the she became one of New York's most prominent hostesses of New York's high society as well as the underworld, regularly associating with some of the most well-known criminals of the day. I hate to say it, people, but look, 3 out of 5 are women. 4 out of Queen Liz, pickpocket. Big Mary, associate. Big Mary. Black Lena Kleinschmidt, among the clique of con artists, proteges. Adam Were, Sophie Lyons. Wow, their preferred items to steal and fence were silk and diamonds, which she could acquire inexpensively. Yeah, stolen and sell at total profit. Significant profit. I guess you have to pay if you're going to put thieves and pickpockets on retainer. Is that what we're hearing here? And I never heard about her until yesterday. Frequently placed her in the public eye. Her notoriety, increasing infamy, led to numerous mentions and quote in the newspapers. She was a 6-footer. She said that she's weighed between 200 and 300 pounds, but all women are beautiful, giving her an imposing, beautiful physical presence. Mandelbaum often adorned herself with $40,000 worth of jewels and dressed in luxurious materials, silk, ostrich feathers, sealskin, making it hard to miss a wall of silk. Okay, so she got arrested. And the thing is, the New York district attorney didn't do it. He just thought she was an eccentric person who honestly means to do. Oh, this is the guy. He decided to act against her, but he couldn't do it with. She had bought the police force, I guess, because instead of relying on the city's bought police force, he reportedly knew she had been bribing them for decades. So he hired the Pinkerton Detective Agency. He got him. He went in posing as a Jew, infiltrated her inner circle, eventually purchased marked silk fabric and arrested her. And the fact that they went behind the back and actually upheld the law really caused some friction between the people that she had been bribing and this police inspector. But anyway, at the time of her arrest, she had famous other not losers, lawyers on retainer. That's a lot of money back then, $5,000. Howe argued their innocence, attempted to discredit the guy. He was the criminal. That's the Bill Clinton perfected the mafia's denials. It goes like this: you deny, deny, counter accuse, deny. Deny, deny, counter accuse, deny. So he's the criminal. So what did she do? Despite around the clock surveillance by these famous Pinkerton detectives, she was going to go to jail. No, she didn't do it. Somehow she escaped the night before the trial. And in the courtroom, the district attorney sternly said, Mr. Howe was plumply serene and ponderously gracious. Frederica Mandelbaum. The words seemed to float over the heads of the merchants and lose themselves. There was no answer. Dead silence reigned. Wikipedia AI is just trying drama. Then a little sound of something like disappointment was heard in the court, and her lawyer, Rowe, rose to his feet. The defendants are not here, Your Honor. Seems at the time there was no extradition treaty, and somehow she had sleptwalked slumber-nautically over the bridge into Canada, and she was sad because she did live her mafia life, rich, living in Canada, but she regretted, she was sorry she ever left New York because she wants to be a part of it. Her public image was known as Mother. Oh man, are you kidding me? So there you go. The Daily Eagle described Mother Mandelbaum, possibly with a hint of irony, as, open quote, a most respectable and philanthropic receiver of stolen goods in New York. She kind of a anti-hero. Wow. I don't like it when it does that. A kind of an anti-hero because he's supposed to be able to click it, highlight it, and they read it really good. So there you go. There really was a school where they taught people and picked them out to be bad people. I wonder if we should just pick one of these out. Let's look at Black Lena. Born in 1835, German born, New York criminal, prominent jewel thief. She eventually was arrested after being caught with Christine Kid Glove Rosie Meyer. They're not emphasizing any Jewishness here. So you can't really tell by these names or anything from what I understand. So she's had to go 5 years at the Blackwell's Island. There was one other thing I wanted to hear, and I even saved this because I hadn't heard Victor Thorpe, the conspiratorialist historiography. Was he the first doctor from the University of California system of schools? He's got a doctorate. Professor Hamamoto, I've only got a few minutes. Let me know.
Washing the dishes, you'll have to come to the monitor to read the subtitles, and unless you understand Ukrainian or Russian. Here we go.
В эфире «Понятная политика». Здравствуйте. Сегодня поговорим о теме, которая в американских СМИ фактически под запретом.
So this is, Russia. The other countries have TV shows and they have their propaganda and they have them convinced, that they love their country. We're the good guys. The news in Russia today on their TV show that we would translate Clear Politics is on the air. Hello, today we're going to raise the issue that is practically banned in the American media, the so-called Clinton body count. For the fourth decade now, journalists of different leagues have been investigating the bloody threads that lead to the famous Clinton family.
Список Клинтонов. Журналисты.
I don't know if we need to hear him because I'm going to read it. But have you ever seen? I mean, it's way more than 50. Now, this is their show, introducing you to Americans and the world, the Russians. Look how bad they are. And they laugh at us. And it's always been there. They can come out and fake everything the United States has faked and tell their people, at least we haven't done that. Just think. Since the 1980s, almost 50 people from the Clintons' entourage have either been accidentally shot, committed suicide, or simply disappeared. You forgot drowning is a big one, or running over by trains. You can read it. Maybe you like that Ukraine sound. This is their news show. The graphics, mysterious deaths. What are we going to do? Murders. This is a show they're doing in Russia about the Clinton body count. You couldn't mention it on YouTube or anything else for a long time because they'd say, you're one of those crazy Christian conservatives that hate abortion, aren't you? You hate abortion, so you hate the Clintons. What do you, Dr. Yamamoto? What do you think about it? Doctor, go.
Standards, German, the Western world, so-called, in gathering this type of information and educating their public with this information. So congratulations for bringing this knowledge to the world. Hillary and Bill, this is what Victor Thorne is doing for us. Okay. I just threw that in there just to show you how.
Who's this guy?
Would be at the Second Mile or other functions in the tri-state area or all across the country, the more wealthy individuals. Do you have any idea how these people, because people that are hanging out at peep shows and in the porn district aren't going to be the wealthy to-do individuals making large donations to the Second Mile or any other organization. So how do the wealthy people get into it that Savitz would know?
Savage was pretty bold and flamboyant. He believed that he was above the law in Philadelphia and New York. You're right. How did these other business guys, how did they do it without putting themselves as a liability? What happens is, I guess.
Wow. You know what? I'm going to have to count on you to believe that it's not fair in America that there is, you know, a two-tiered system of justice. So the Grady gang, were they even bigger than the Jewish gang? Organized by Vince, John D. Traveling Mike Grady, Broadway's Thieves Exchange. It was a world where people pretended to be good like they do today. So he competed against rival Vince, but boy, she got a lot more because she's a woman. She had formed a gang of her own, and she competed with them, but they were big. We are going to be going back to women exposing heresy. Anne Hutchinson, back to the Puritan days and the antinomian controversy. We'll be looking at, well, let me see if I could just go to my history. And it's that New Haven colony. I was looking at that last night before I started, and I wanted to get into that. This
vineyard, place we just were, and how he would love to make a plantation there someday. In today's dollars, it'd be quite an expensive plantation. He was quite comfortable there, and he described the area much as one would describe the southern regions of England itself, or the north of France. He himself had learned about the area from Gosnold, Bartholomew Gosnold, who helped start Jamestown, and who was the subject of our episode before Popham, because he had a very short-lived.
They're talking about, you know, founding Christian utopias that what has shown to be the end of the Christian golden age. Those, when the Puritans were coming over here, there were still Christians that were trying to love the Lord, follow the Bible. It was the golden age of Christ. He was ruling with the rod of iron. People had to pretend to be Christians, even if they were Jewish fences running schools on how to blackmail people. We're on to them. We're going to get them. We know it's a flat earth nation. The golden age is past. The mud flood was Armageddon. History is a lie. So our job is to get to the bottom of it and expose the fact that it is the Bible that's true. The golden age is past. It's a flat earth nation. Me and my friends will never tell you anything else as we are unfolding and exposing this false history. We want you to know that if you hear his voice, Jesus Christ, it's because you're called. Now that you're called, prove you're chosen and faithful, predestined, elect, adopted into the family of Christ. Because that's how you get there. Amen. Hallelujah. Aho. Aloha. Arrivederci. Ciao. Sayonara. Auf Wiedersehen. Nakme. Adios. That's how I like to say goodbye.